Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I talk to a lot of people in the Wadsworth community. Today we're happy to have Rich Berlin, president of the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation and associate principal at Wadsworth High School, and a board member of that group, Jim Dole. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
What is the foundation, Rich?
Well, the foundation is just supplemental support for the senior center. We try to provide the financial support for things that they want and need that maybe necessarily they can't ordinarily get. So we do fundraisers, we have professional friends that we get donations, so we provide that extra supplemental financial support that they wouldn't necessarily have so that we can benefit the seniors in our community.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Athletic Booster Club, as you being a former AD, that sometimes the coaches want some little extra things that they can't provide from the regular budget, and just very supportive.
Absolutely, it's very similar to that. You know, for athletics, the equipment is vital. You have to have the equipment or you can't have the sport. But there's other things that are good for the kids that you want to purchase that they don't necessarily need but will benefit from. And that's the same thing we do. We want to do whatever we can to help benefit the seniors in our community and the surrounding communities that come and use the senior center. And
how long has the foundation been in existence?
I believe it's been since 1975, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm. Right, Rich.
In some shape or form. I don't know how long it's been called the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation, but since 1975 it's been in existence.
Jim, COVID-19 has really been a difficult situation for all political entities and the foundation, but it's also given an opportunity. I noticed in the recent publication, and I think Joanna has this, that the foundation dedicated a bench to the former director, Nancy Lorincz, and her husband, David. Can you comment about that?
Yeah, Nancy was a longtime director, did a great amount for this city and for the seniors in this community. And her husband passed away in September, and and she retired in September also. So and then we dedicated a bench out. The Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation purchased a bench outside on the patio. It's beautiful.
And how many members, and since you're a board member, how many members belong to the Older Adults Foundation?
There's 10 of us.
Okay.
10 or 11, I'm not exactly. Yeah.
So you always need to coordinate that with the, since you mentioned Nancy Lorincz now, Lori Wilkerson is the interim director. It's really important you communicate with her and the staff on what they need and kind of looking to the future.
Right, we're always looking for what she needs for support and anything else that we can help her with, and that's our main goal, to support the senior center.
Rich, there's been a lot of improvements in the center itself. I went into today to talk to a staff member and saw the fireplace there and chairs. Can you comment about that?
Well, just to expand a little bit on what you're talking about with Jim, with Lori and her staff, excuse me, really what they do is they come to us with needs, things that they want, and they would like the foundation to purchase. And because of COVID-19 and the pandemic and the senior center being closed for so long, we wanted to do something special, and she wanted to do something special for our seniors when they were able to come back. And we wanted to change a little bit of the look in the center itself, painting of the walls, painting the Suprema Center logo, adding some furniture. We purchased a coffee bar, a nice big bar to serve on, and it adds just a nice touch to the room. And then throughout those conversations, we thought it would be nice to have an outside space that could be used more often. When it's 90-some degrees in July, people aren't going outside. But if we had a pavilion out there and they can sit in the shade, we think they would use the space more. So we had conversations with the board and with Lori on those things, and Robert Patrick and Mike Testa were involved in that, and we moved forward with the purchasing of the equipment, and we purchased a refrigerator, we purchased the bar, and also the pavilion, and gives it a nice look, but it's also more useful too when you have that outside space.
What a timely topic to mention when we talk about the coffee bar. Creative Housing of Medina County are the opening of the new cafe is the 15th, I believe.
Yes, and conversations were had with them, not by us too, on how would this look, what would make it a more attractive space. They had some input on what we were doing too. So it's not, that cafe, everybody's been waiting for it, and everybody's asking, when's it going to be there? When's it going to be there? And it'll be a pretty special place when the cafe's in there and everything's ready to go, and we have the look that we want in there, and we start getting more people back in there.
It's hard to believe, Bruce, but that facility is 8 years old already.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
And it needed a little spark of life, you know what I mean, to update it and everything else. And so that was one of our big goals too.
You have to give some in-service to Vincent Suber about coffee. He'll probably make a beeline. You can show him how to get down here. And Chris Sieber, I know the principals always like to drink coffee, don't we?
Well, it's about coffee, but don't forget about food.
Oh, they said their pastries are just out of this world. And my wife and I visited the cafe in Medina and couldn't believe, and we left with some cinnamon rolls, and they were just out of this world.
Well, I don't know about you, Jim, but I've never met a pastry. So.
Then they brought in cinnamon rolls brought in pastry one day and coffee, and they brew their own coffee, they roast their own beans. It was really good, and so I give a shout out to them. We're looking forward to them opening up and getting all our seniors back together
Well,
again.
and I think they take a lot of pride in what they do, and
That's
there's
right,
a
yeah.
uniqueness to it that I think our seniors will appreciate.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, before the show, you and I walked out and saw that pavilion.
Beautiful,
and it is going to be a tremendous addition to the as Rich noted.
Right.
It's certainly nice to have a little shade outside, even in the fall. What a beautiful time to be outside
Right.
and enjoy it outside. And the benches were out there before, but they weren't used a whole lot. This is really going to be great,
It's
isn't
too
it?
hot in the summer, the sun beating down on you. It just got too hot and everything else. So it's going to be great. Make it good for 9 months of the year, right? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But hey, and for those times when it gets up to 60 degrees in December for no reason,
That's right.
you can still go out there and enjoy
That's
it.
right.
Right. Also, Jim, I noticed that when the Suprema started again back, we now have a kiosk system. Can you
That's right.
tell me that a little bit?
Yeah,
and also there was a free gift that some people got, and I think we have a picture of that on our monitor there, and that's kind of exciting for asking people to come back and get back in the swing of things.
It's called My Senior Center. The Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation purchased it. All the seniors get a card, and you scan it, and it punches you in. You get a picture. Your picture's taken too. And it helps out with the staff so that they can keep track. They don't have to manually know how many people went to each class or what their attendance is like. It cuts out a lot on the paperwork. And it also does robocalls. So we have a class on tomorrow. So it's going to call me the day beforehand and say, hey, you're scheduled for this class. So that's really helps out the staff a lot. So
Well, it's also a great communication tool because they can do the robocall. They can it's a scheduling tool.
that's right.
They can schedule their events, and our members can actually sign up for events online and get the information and get the contact. I just think through the pandemic and all the unique ways we had to find to communicate to people, I think this is just a very positive piece of the puzzle in communicating to everybody and keeping everybody involved.
And a lot through that Zoom program that was really popular. They had thousands of hits on Zoom for classes and everything else during COVID, and it's still doing it right now. We've got hybrid classes, so a lot of the classes are in person and on Zoom because some seniors don't want to go out yet with COVID, or some are homebound, so they can sit at home and watch the show. So that's great.
Well, and through COVID, Bruce, we were trying to find ways to get our seniors involved that maybe weren't getting out. The foundation purchased iPads, and we were trying to get people involved through using iPads and staying in communication with people that way. And some of this came about. Lori brought the idea to us, but part of the reason we were on board is it just gave us a great way to communicate, get information out, and keep our seniors involved. And even when the pandemic, when and if it ever ends, it's still a great communication tool because not all the seniors can get out all the time, and be able to keep them involved while they're in their home, I think is just a huge piece of the puzzle for us.
Jim, you and I got together for a book chat earlier. Probably a couple years ago, we were in those classes, and now it's moved to the afternoon. It's called Senior Book Talk. But again, there were people at home, as Rich mentioned, looking at this book, and also we had in-person folks as well.
Right.
And we miss you in the afternoon. Where have you been? And
Well,
that was a really good class, wasn't
See,
it?
I am missed, okay?
Yeah.
By some.
That was a really good experience to see other people's
Right.
opinions
Yeah,
in
it's
reading
right.
a book.
That's right.
And just reading a book.
It's just like a lot of the classes at the Senior Center. They're fantastic. Autobiography class, the sewing class. I mean, the variety, caregiver support groups and everything else. That's fantastic. Of course, then you got your cards and you got your bingo and everything else. So the activity is really great. So it's a lot of participation, and we're looking forward to getting full blast again.
We were talking about a program they had. It's just a one-time thing, but it was a balancing class.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Jim and I, you and I, we didn't take the same class together,
Yeah.
but it's just little things like making sure the lights on the steps as you're going down, and using the rail. And
Right.
if there's two rails, use both of them, so that a lot of seniors fall, and that really puts them in a bad situation. They may break a hip or have knee issues, and that's not a positive
That's right.
situation for them.
Yeah, and getting up and just turning. Don't turn fast, turn slow, because you never know what's behind you sometimes. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of things that we learned at that class.
Very much so. Rich, also as your position as associate principal at high school, you're kind of right in the middle of some activities for the seniors, and they have to have so many community service hours. Can you explain that? And what about leaf raking? What a popular program the high schools put into fruition.
Well, all of our seniors have to do 10 hours of community service, and that is outside of anything else that we do during the school day. And some of those, they'll do them with the Salvation Army, Mary Ann's Closet, some of our nonprofit organizations in the community. And we also allow, basically for the senior community hours, we tell them really the only restriction is it needs to benefit our community and it needs to be nonprofit. So benefiting our community is what we're looking for. And I think our seniors benefit a lot from that when they do that. Well, Friday, which I've been spending all week trying to get ready for, Friday is the leaf raking day. We do it every year. Our seniors will come in for 8 o'clock for breakfast on Friday. We'll have breakfast for them. We divide them into groups. We have about 20 to 22 teachers and staff that take them out and they do yards. Typically we do about 200 to 225 yards. This year we don't have as many, I think probably because of the pandemic and people unsure that we were doing that. But and we'll go out and we'll rake leaves. And we do it all over the community. It's a day when people are driving around, they see our kids, they see them out in the yards, they see them taking the leaves and sending them out to the curb. It's a great day. Our seniors have a good time. The staff that gets involved with them have a great time. Friday's going to be 28 degrees in the morning, so we'll have a little chilly start, but they'll work hard and they'll get it done. It's a great day.
You know, the interaction of the whole place, the senior center, the YMCA, and the high school, it's great. The interaction of all these people is fantastic. Yeah, because you get a lot of teachers come into the cafe, and we get students to help us out different things. I remember for the setting up for the picnic, we had football team came in and moved all the tables.
Yeah.
And did all this stuff. So, the interaction is just great for everybody, not for the seniors with the young people and the young people with the seniors and everything. It's great.
And the reality of it is, I mean, Jim, you remember when the senior center was downtown.
Yeah.
And the interaction between the seniors and the high school looks a lot different
Oh, yeah,
now
it was
because we're in the
non-existent
same
then.
facility.
Yeah.
Because we're side by side,
Yeah.
and they see the kids. Our
That's
kids
right.
see them when we're on the premises outside.
That's
and
right.
Just the location and having us here with the Y and with the seniors. What a great idea! And it's just been a very positive
It's worked out
thing.
great. Yeah. It's worked out great.
My father-in-law, Leon Doutrick, served 22 years in the Army, was a tanker in Vietnam and Korea, and he just raved every year for the Veterans Day program. And he just said, the high school, put out all the stops. They had breakfast in the morning, as you mentioned, and had a wonderful program. And he was very impressed with the performances of the band and orchestra, and just went on and on about that. That has to make you feel good with that kind of reaction.
You know what puts a smile on my face on that day is the interaction of the veterans with our students and with our staff, and you can see, you hear it, but you can also see how much they appreciate that. They walk into the gym and our kids will stand up and they clap for them as they're walking in the gym. And a lot of our veterans get teary-eyed through that program. And you know, the pandemic has made that more challenging for us, and we've had to get creative and do things a little differently. Again, this year we're going to do that virtually, but there's other things we're going to do too. The foundation, I have kids writing handwritten notes to veterans that are in the nursing homes in the community, and we're going to deliver that, and so that they have something from our kids. We're doing that through the foundation, and you know, we do the Salute the Troops night, the football game. Coach Todd invites all the veterans to come to practice and come to team dinner, and the veterans come to team dinner, and they sit down with our football players and have dinner and talk and just get to know each other. And for both sides, it's a great experience. And you know, it's not just about Veterans Day. You know, recognizing our veterans and thanking our veterans and making them know that they're appreciated is just so important. And we can't forget about it, and we can't forget about them.
November 9th then too at the Senior Center, we're going to have a veterans pinning ceremony at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So veterans, sign up, call 330-335-1513. Come on down for the veterans ceremony. You deserve it. You're entitled to it.
Absolutely.
So and we've got quite a few people signed up for that right now, so come on down.
Rich, not only do the high school reach out to the seniors, but also the seniors are really a viable group in our community. I remember several years ago, of course, Wadsworth still has a very good girls basketball team, but it seemed like the senior citizens almost embraced and adopted the girls basketball team. You would look in the stands and they were just filled with senior citizens. Was I imagining that, or was that the case?
No, that's the case, and that's actually the case at a lot of our sporting events. You know, we allow all senior citizens to attend free, so there's nothing holding them back financially. And I will tell you, some of my fondest memories of being the athletic director here was hanging out with those guys in the stands. Every once in a while, I have to tell them to settle down a little bit. But hanging out with those guys in the stands and, you know, and going and helping them get their tickets and just talking with them and hearing them give advice on what our coach should be doing, because we all do that sometimes. But I think our teams really, especially our girls basketball team at that time, they were very receptive to our seniors that came to the events, and it was just great to see them. And, you know, you develop relationships through those events that expand outside those events. And a lot of those seniors, even though I'm not the athletic director anymore, are people that when I see them, we have conversations about what's going on now, what was going on then. And, you know, unfortunately I've been out of it long enough that some of those folks aren't around anymore, and we miss the ones that aren't.
Yeah, I think we each and every day we lose like 25 veterans of World War II,
Yes.
and they're becoming fewer and fewer, as you indicate, and it's very sad. But they certainly lived a very fulfilling life, and one that the young people are respecting. Also, Jim, the pass that Rich was talking about can also be used for plays, and one-act plays and children's plays, and the senior citizens like to go to those activities too.
That's right. Yeah, you always see them there. Of course, they're supporting their grandkids a lot of times, but it's fantastic, and this community is just great. Just a great community.
Jim, I think you know a little bit about some of the fundraising activities of the foundation. What are some other things, some ways in which people can give back to the foundation?
Well, can I talk about 12 Days of Christmas?
Well, you know, anything else besides that? I know that's your cup of tea.
Well, the thing about the Senior Center too, it's open to the public. The public is invited to come there. The food and everything else, that's going to be 7:30 to 2, I believe.
Right, 7:30 to 2 each and every day.
It's open to the public, and you know, get your parents and everybody else involved, and your grandparents involved. You know what I mean? Bring them if you have to. But then, of course, we got great bus service too. But it's all open to the public too.
Okay.
When you're over at the Y and everything else, come on over.
Yeah. Do you know anything about 12 Days of Christmas, Jim Dole?
Okay.
Someone said.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh no.
Come
Oh,
on.
I opened the door.
Yeah, come on, Rich.
Uh-oh.
Come on,
Well,
Rich.
I'm sorry about
Okay.
this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have people getting in the spirit. What would you say, Jim, would be the fundraising on 12 Days of Christmas? How much does it provide for the foundation?
Well, you know, it used to be called 25 Days of Christmas. We'd go out and look for donations from local businesses, and we did really good. We
Yes.
raised lots and lots of money, and so this year we just didn't figure it was right to go out and ask
Right.
companies for donations. So we allocated about over $3,000 of our own money to go out and solicit buy gift cards from 120 local businesses. So we bought $3,000 worth of gift cards from local businesses, and that's what's going into our baskets this year. So the baskets are, we have some sponsors that we helped us defray our costs. We've got Stacy Rees, a medical. She takes care of Medicare options. She's really great. She saved me $500 this year on my Medicare.
Wow.
You know.
You buying lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a check. Crossroads Hospice and Palliative Care. They're big in this area, and they're really good. They provide grief care and everything else. So caregiver support. We got the American Legion Post, which
Right.
I'm Post 170, which I'm a proud member of.
Sure.
I mean, they do a lot for the veterans and support the veterans, but if you're not a member, you don't realize how much they donate to local businesses or local causes and everything else. So it's great. And we got a new member, LaFazio Real Estate. They're out of Brunswick, and they've been in business since 2015. So we're always looking for more sponsors to help defray our costs, but we've got 4 great sponsors right now. So we're selling tickets again for $10 a piece. We're at
2 for 20 and 5
two
for 50?
for 20, yeah. And we sell them at the senior center all the time, and then we're at all the city events. We're at on First Friday. We're at Rise and Grind downtown. Thanks to Bob Titus for that. Also November 19th for the Holiday Magic. We're going to be down there at Rise and Grind. Also, we're at Rise and Grind on 3 different Saturdays coming up: November 13th, 27th, and December 4th. So.
So when does
That's
the
where
raffle
some-
begin? So
the-
there's
the
12
fir-
different baskets people can win. Is that right?
We're doing a drawing every day from December 6th to the 16th
Okay.
on Wadsworth Radio.
And I
Tom
think the
Stugmeyer-
Mayor Lawbaw's involved in
Well,
that,
actually,
isn't
she's
she?
going to do the final one, yeah. But
Okay.
Tom Stugmeyer is doing the drawings 8:45 every morning.
Okay.
Then on December 17th, which is a Friday, we're going to do the final 3 drawings and the big basket, which is going to be over $500.
Wow.
So, and the mayor is going to do that at the senior center.
So it's going for a good cause. In
No,
other words,
yeah, all
sometimes
the
we
proceeds go to the senior
sometimes
center.
we forget about, we donate to the Red Cross and we hope it gets
Yeah,
to
that's
that
right. Yeah,
purpose
yeah.
and other organizations, but now we know it's going to help the foundation.
Every cent goes to the foundation, and we're spending every cent too.
Well, and it was really important to us that we support the businesses that have supported us
right.
all
That's
through the
right.
years. The pandemic was difficult for some businesses, struggled to keep people employed at times. So all through the pandemic, we were buying gift cards for seniors for their birthday and doing birthday drawings, and we're buying them from local businesses.
Yeah.
So the 12 days, the
Right.
focus too is, I know it's not a lot of money that we're giving back, but we want to give back to the businesses that have supported us
And-
and support this community.
It's funny when you go in and purchase a gift card. People see me walk in and say, "Oh, it's that time of year again." I say, "Yeah, but it's a little different this year. We're buying a
We're
gift
buying.
card off you." I have to you just say it 2 or 3 times because they don't understand.
Yeah.
But Jim, I would imagine a lot of the merchants are, look forward, as you say, hey,
yeah.
it's that time of year,
Yeah.
and they want to be involved, and they want to help the Suprema Senior Center and the foundation, and you don't have to twist too many
No,
arms.
you don't have to twist 2 arms, but they're just surprised at what we're doing, and they're grateful too. Yeah, because it's been rough for them.
Yep.
And and this community is just great about that. We look for one another. We support one another, so it's great.
So, Rich, I think we can say that there's so many programs offered. Maybe people could get in, casually, maybe try something, and if they like it, maybe something else that's right down their alley. And there's a lot of opportunities to get involved and meet people and really be active.
Absolutely. Just come and have a cup of coffee sometime and see all the people that are in there. And there's groups that play cards. They just sit and talk. They have coffee and they just chat. There are so many things going on in the senior center. To get people out of the house and go be around other people and just have fun. And hey, we're allowed 15 members on the board. And we have 4 spots still available. So if there's people interested in being part of the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation, all they have to do is reach out and help us make a difference with the seniors in our community.
Again, they may have some ideas, Jim. You
right.
have new
That's
people
right.
that move in.
That's right, exactly.
Yep.
There was a gentleman that was at the forum the other day with Dr. Hill and
Right.
Doug Beeman, and he was approached after the meeting, and he joined the Supremacy
right.
Center. So, you know,
Well, things are always changing, just like our Christmas sales. I mean, half of tickets sold now are on the internet. And
Right.
so everything's changing, you know, so you got to keep up with that. So we need Older Adults Foundation members who are knowledgeable of these different procedures and things like that. And then we're keeping the seniors up to date too, you know what I mean? Keeping them going. And all the different programs, just like the program where the high school kids come in and work with the seniors on,
Yeah.
on the computers and everything else.
yeah.
Intergenerational, I
Yeah,
think. that's called.
I was looking for it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fantastic. And so you got to get the seniors involved. Keep your mind working. Keep you active, going. Don't sit in front of the TV. You know what I mean? Come on down to the senior center. And it's surprising to see how many people's groups are there, like retired firemen,
Yes.
school bus drivers come in, and all that other stuff after their routes. That's great.
I saw some of the retired firemen there. They come on a particular day, and boy, the
Yeah.
stories
Oh,
coming out of the
yeah,
fire
yeah,
department,
yeah, yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. It's like
led
catching
by
a fish
Dick
that long,
Connard,
right?
yeah, is there, yeah, for sure. Well, gentlemen, we sure covered a lot of
I
ground
got one
today.
other thing for
Go
you.
ahead,
though, Bruce.
Jim.
Yeah. How many tickets do you want, buddy?
Well,
One or,
yeah.
Do you want 5 or 10?
You're such a great interviewer. It's 2
Yeah,
for 20.
I'll
buddy.
take a couple. Since
Yeah,
you put me
okay,
on
you
the
got a
spot.
deal, buddy.
I'll take a couple. So appreciate you, gentlemen, and we really learned a lot about the Older Adult Foundation, and really we're certainly looking for more people to join and more people to be on the board. Coming up, my next show is going to be Habitat for Humanity, and we're looking forward to that on location. Thanks for viewing.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.